We talked about it going in. They shouldn't have gotten off the plane back home if they lost that game to the Carolina Panthers, and yet they did. And I'm somebody that's been backing Shane and Dable. I don't know how I could do it anymore. Now, I still have my thoughts on what I would do moving forward, which we'll get into, but I have to side with you here, and you've been saying for a while that Mara said he didn't anticipate making any changes. Well, he probably didn't anticipate losing to the Carolina Panthers either.
Yep.
That is as embarrassing a loss as it could possibly get for the New York Giants, who have sunk to yet another low.
That was disgraceful. I'm going to go a little bit of a bigger picture here, Sal. I think we are officially at the lowest point in the history of the Giants. I think right now is the lowest point ever. Giants' pride is dead. I got news for everybody. You look at the great Giant fans and the energy and the passion for their team. It is slowly dissipated. It has been chipped away to a point where I believe there's almost more apathy than there is still certainly conviction and even hope for this team. I really think that. You've got no quarterback, right? And you've got an owner who too often this decade has proven clueless. And he's got a tough decision ahead. You referenced the word that I hung on 2 months ago when he spoke about the future of the Giants. I thought the door was slightly open. I think there's going to be a lot of change this offseason. I think that there should be. But big picture, everybody associates the Giants rock bottom with the 70s. This is it.
But here's the reason why. Okay, there's a lot of different layers to this. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. I still do believe Dable could be a good coach. Now, if you're telling me, prior to this loss, I would fight back and give you reason why I think that they should keep Dable. After losing that game, my argument to keep him is certainly less, meaning that if they did fire him, I can't go nuts and say that, all right, well, you made a huge mistake. Although I think they still would be making a mistake, I can't go nuts anymore because the record is what it is, and there's no way they should be losing all these games that they have lost. My biggest issue with this organization, and it's to your point, okay, the Giants have gotten to a new low. You're saying the lowest in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, I believe that.
Fair enough. I didn't do all the work, but it's certainly to go back in a history, but it's certainly one of the lowest, if not the lowest in the last decade or so, where there's been new lows seemingly every year, whether it's Gettleman or McAdoofus or Judge, and now this regime losing to the Panthers here. To me, the main culprit's the owner. Like, if I were John Mara, I'd wake up today and fire myself. I would look in the mirror and fire myself. That's how bad he's been. Their problems go back years, whether it's hiring or pushing Coughlin out, hiring McAdoofus, Gettleman, allowing Gettleman to draft a running back number 2 overall. Like, it all starts with that. And then you go from drafting a running back number 2 overall, which you never do, then forcing Joe Shane and Dable to extend Daniel Jones when we all knew that it was a big mistake to do so. Then he strong-armed them. Then by letting Barkley walk, he strong-armed Shane into thinking, well, hey, I'm not going to be able to sleep if you let this star running back go. So what does he do? He takes what he thinks could be the face of the franchise offense with Malik Neighbors. Wrong. Every step of the way, it's been wrong decisions, and it all starts to me at the top with Mara, who we look at as some great owner.
I don't.
Because of the history here.
I don't.
He's
not. He's not his dad.
Now, the problem is he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I get it. And in all probability, neither is Woody. We'll get to that circus mess in a minute. Those losers, they're up next. The way you framed it, it really was. Yesterday may have been, if you really think about it, Sal, and there's been a million empty Sundays, but getting up early and suffering through that Giants game and then waiting all day to get to the Jets and that slop fest. I don't know that there's been a worse, more depressing football Sunday ever. And that says something. And again, I go to 2022, and at this point, 2022 is just a rare, really unexpected anomaly that has no push forward. 2022 is dead. Anything that was built off of that has already evaporated. And maybe, you look at some other seasons where, 5-year records or forget about that. I'm talking bigger picture. The thing about the Giants that their fans have always been the fans are checking out on the new. Let this statement resonate and get this one to John Mara. Your fans are leaving you. And we can talk about Yankee fans who are great and Knicks fans who are great. I can make the case that Giant fans are actually the best fans. And they are checking out on your product because, number one, not only is it moribund, but it's without consistency. It's without direction. It's without inspiration. Your stadium's half empty. When you play a team that's even halfway decent, 25,000 of those fans infiltrate your stadium, which, by the way, is gross. So I look at this franchise, Sal. They were the platinum standard. Along with the Yankees, they've become the Jets.
Right. And I think it's a perfect way to say it, and I think that's why maybe it hurt. Now, it's been this way for a while. It's not like all of a sudden we woke up in the last couple of years they've become the Jets. But because they were hanging on to their rich tradition, to the recent Super Bowls under Coughlin and doing it the way that they did with Eli Manning, they're held to a higher standard, and it's more shocking and I think more disappointing to have them get to this low level. Every year, new lows. Every hire they make is a bad one. Every decision that they've made is the wrong one, like the Jets. But with the Jets, it's almost sadly expected. With the Giants, it wasn't. And speaking of the Jets, like we talked about it on Friday, BT, going in, that there was a path. I didn't believe in this team. And what did I say? It wasn't the path that wasn't possible. It was that this team, they don't deserve our trust, specifically because they can't tackle. And there are different layers to the Jets and all their problems as well. But now the season is officially over. If you didn't think it was over before, it's officially done now. And it's because they're a pathetic group of guys who quit once their head coach was fired. They weren't good before that, but once Woody made the decision to fire Saleh, they quit on defense, and now they're all done.
I have no idea where they go. I really don't. I don't know what the possible direction is for the New York Jets. I mean, we'll get to Rodgers a little bit later, but yesterday was just a complete no-show. And, listen, I was holding on because I did think that there was talent on this team. And the way they looked in the second half against the Houston Texans, albeit a beat-up Houston Texans team, the defense flashed. You saw the chemistry with Rodgers and his receivers. I mean, I'm sorry for expecting the Jets to be able to go out and beat the Cardinals who do one thing, run the ball. And the Jets had extra time to prepare. They had extra time to physically regenerate. And again, you have guys not only missing tackles, but checking out of tackles. Let's get this to Soft Gardner. That is now his name. It's not Sauce. It's not Ahmad. It is Soft Gardner. Dude, mix in a protein shake, learn how to lift a weight, and learn how to lower your pads and actually tackle somebody. I don't know what's happened to Soft Gardner right now is one of the biggest mysteries that I've ever seen, at least recently in New York sports. To be that great and to become such a disinterested stiff at this point, I can't even comprehend what's happening. Well, the good news, I did check the 10-day weather report for Soft Gardner. It's going to be about 68, 69. A little sprinkle of rain finally for the first time in 40 days over the night. But it's going to be nice today. So go out there, work on your leg putts and your 5-irons and your chip shots, whatever else you're doing. Because that young man, Soft Gardner, is now more interested in playing golf than football. He has stunk this entire season.
He's got a golfer's body.
And by the way, he does, And by the way, Sal, what's happened, the NFL's figured him out. They're like, oh, no, we can't go with him. We can't go with Gardner. He said, no, you go with Gardner, and then you run right through his chest. All right, this team, I tweeted this morning, and I mean this, and there's a lot of different layers with the Jets and the Giants. We'll get to it all, I promise. But you've never heard me say this, because I am resilient with the Jets. If your child is between the ages of 4 and 8, and they are clearly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If my son missed it by a year, my daughter's a Cowboys fan because of mommy being from Texas. So my household, unfortunately, has already gravitated to the teams they're going to gravitate to. If your child's between the ages of 4 and 8 and still hanging on to that impressionable window of youth, of fandom, do not let them become a Jets fan. Do not do it. Do not let them watch. Do not have Santa bring a jersey or next to the menorah. No jet skier. Don't watch. They are an embarrassment. I hate what they do to me. I hate what they do. I know it's not just about me, but I really hate the Jets, man.
I hate them too.
Them.
I hate
and
watching them. I hate both these teams. I can't do it. I'm up early. I was excited for a good football Sunday.
I know.
Like an idiot, I bet on the Giants again.
No, you bet?
Yeah, of course I did. Look, I got to have interest in the game somehow. I mean, come on.
Man.
Losers. We root for losers in this town.
We do. By the way,
we watched it down with the Jets at 425, not to mention the Knicks who got their rear end kicked.
That's what I was going to say. Game about 135 points last night for the Knicks. Sal, these are dark days, but I really mean this. Like, the Jets are probably never fixable, but the Giants' pride is eroding to the point where it's almost not even recognizable.
I think you're right.
I mean that. It's dead, Giants pride.
I think you said the worst thing that you could possibly say about any football team.
What?
You said that they're the Jets. They become the Giants have become the Jets.
You know what's crazy, by the way? I will get the calls here. BT and Sal, my goodness gracious. All right, we'll go through this together. So the reason why I was somewhat optimistic, again, the way they played second half against the Texans, but also the muddled AFC picture. Let me check my notes. Oh, what a surprise. The Colts lost yesterday. Let me further check my notes. Oh, what a surprise. The Broncos lost yesterday. Let me go back a couple days. Oh, what a surprise. The Bengals lost. They actually got help again, and they didn't score a touchdown.
Hey, you know the one thing that I agree with you on Friday was the path. Yeah. I really believed that the path was there. I just couldn't believe. I'll be honest with you. The moment it changed for me Tuesday, we had Baldy on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he said, because I'm not watching the Cardinals every single game, and I look at them, I'm like, they could be beaten. Like, it's the Arizona Cardinals, whatever. Once he said what they do well is run the football.
Run the ball, 7th in the NFL, $1.50 a game.
At that point, I said, this is going to be a problem. And then, obviously, that's exactly how it played out.
I thought they'd score. Like, I thought
me too,
and if they
still.
lost, it would be just a high-scoring. They scored 6.
BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Gary's in Scotch Plains. What's up, Gary?
Hey, guys. Love the show. Thanks for having me. Giants fan for 30 years. Yep. JD did his job yesterday. Be himself, lose the game, give our young sons and daughters hope for the future.
Who did the job?
Daniels. He lost. He played, just do what he does, lost the game, get sacked. You know, we're looking for the future.
Oh, you're talking about Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. I got confused there.
Yep.
DJ, right? And thank you for the call, Gary. Yeah, I mean, look, what's there more to say?
There's nothing else to say about Daniel Jones. Zero.
Come on. We've been saying... Look, I've already screamed it at the top of my lungs, dating back to when I was on the overnight, even before that as a part-time overnight host of Phil Knows. So there's really not much more you could say about him. He's somehow gotten worse. He's afraid to throw the football. There are guys wide open, which is why I blame Mara for keeping him here and forcing Shane to extend him. You almost want to blame Dable for being a good coach, too good a coach, because he had success with Jones. Now, remember, though, BT, they did so by running the football that year. Mm-hmm. They have gotten away from that, and I think specifically because they wanted to see if he could throw it. Last year, he was hurt, so that kind of, you wash that out. Then this is supposed to be a year, okay, we're going to open things up a little bit and see if he can make the plays down the field. He can't.
No, the answer is a resounding no.
And now we knew this forever.
He can't throw past 10 yards.
The owner's learning this. I guess the new regime is learning this, although I have my doubt knowing how smart they are. Like, even if you don't think that they're good here, they're football guys. Like, you tell me
I think so, too.
We can see that Jones sucks, but they can't, like... Of course they know. It's it. It's over for Jones. I put it this way, and I tweeted this out yesterday, or I said it on SNY, I forget. But either way, the Giants may not be done with Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. I'm done watching it. I don't care who they're playing, when they're on. If Daniel Jones is the quarterback, I'm not watching anymore. I'm done. That's it. I'm out.
So back to the shifts. We'll take the shift. We already started talking about taking shifts last week.
It's over in my house. Put it that way. I'm not watching. They can keep doing it again. Year 7, year 8. I don't care. I'm done watching Daniel Jones attempt to play quarterback.
It's brutal, dude. I mean, it really is ugly. And I think what the last caller was trying to verbalize, and I think you just got a little tripped over the JD DJ thing. It's all good. Is that, you know, at a point where the Giants, you got to embrace the tank. You have to.
I know.
At least from a fan perspective, because I know the franchise will never do that. But if you're a Giants fan, and I know that this always comes up, I mean, at what point should you embrace it? Could you really root against your team? Could you really bet against your team? The answer is yes. When they're this lifeless and this without hope, the only way to fix it is to hit rock bottom. And sadly, there's not many layers left to the Giants, but there might be one little teeny-weeny drop-off that actually resembles and equates to rock bottom. And good news for Giant fans is they're moving there quickly, so we'll probably see it next game after the bye.
As are the Jets. Raphael is in North Jersey. What's up, Raphael?
Fellas, I called you a year ago about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. You guys were talking about was this rock bottom. And I called in and I said, no, rock bottom will be this year, if we go out and just blow it. And, man, we are at rock bottom. BT, my son is a year and a half. When he was in my wife's belly, I would get down to the belly and I would give him the Jet chant.
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately, BT, I can even send you the video privately. He's already doing the Jet chant. My daughter is going to be born. My daughter is going to be born in 3 weeks.
Wow.
BT.
Don't do it.
I was doing the same. I already did it.
Don't reverse
let me tell
it.
you why. I can't. Let me tell you. Because as a true Jet fan, it's going to build callous and character for my son.
Yeah.
Eventually, look, and I've been waiting a long
he
time.
hates football.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to do. Yeah.
No, listen, I buy enough vintage garbage on eBay. That kid's going to have no choice. I throw it all out. But this is rock bottom, BT. This is rock bottom.
I don't know. I think you're right, dude. I really do think that it's rock bottom. I don't think it was 1-15 or 3-13 with Coatside or, Vinny with the snap, the ruptured Achilles or, all the other myriad, meltdowns and mistakes and just the butt fumbles and the jokes. And I really think that this is rock bottom because you can't be rock bottom if you don't have expectations. And let's face it, most of the seasons, the expectation is to maybe compete, maybe hang around, maybe get a little lucky, maybe play meaningful football in December, but you're not setting yourself up for the ultimate fall. This is one of the few Jet seasons, maybe like 98, like 99, maybe 1 or 2 years with Rex, where obviously the early 80s with Freeman and those guys and the sack exchange, where you actually think the Jets could do something special. It's a handful of seasons, and look at where we are. They missed 20 tackles. 20. So I don't know who the next coach is or quarterback. I don't know where they go. Woody could go to Europe and never come back for as long as I'm honestly. And you could stick Christopher in a suitcase and bring him with you. I don't know what happens here, dude. I really don't. And I'm just, the other thing. You know what Colton said to me yesterday. You know what he said to me? He's 9 years old, my son. You know what he said? He said, "Dad, how pathetic is this?" He says, "Dad," and he meant it. He's like, "I don't think we're ever going to win the Super Bowl for the Jets." and at one point, at one point I did say, he's like, the season's over. He's like, well, maybe if we win next week. And I finally looked at him and I was finally honest with him. And I used a word, not a really bad word, but I can't say it on the radio. I said, you know what? No, I said that's bull bleep. I said, we stink. It's over. And I vote for this year. I've always tried to throw him a little carrot, throw him a little bone, keep him inspired. I said, son, it's a wrap. We stink. We're cooked.
We'll come back. We'll look over the Jets schedule and see if they still.
I'm not playing that game, dude. Loss. That's
Poor
their
Cole.
schedule.
BT and Sal, the Fan Warrior calls on the other side.